In our next one, we've got the Green Bay Packers going on the road to take on the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be great. Talking about like a battle of the number one and number two passing touchdown quarterbacks here in Dak Prescott, who was number one, and Jordan Love, who was number two for the Packers. The Cowboys beat the Lions by one at home, I think several weeks back. If you want to kind of compare a little bit to NFC North teams there. So I think maybe that is something to look into a little bit. Also, this is at home. This is at Jerry's World, where the Cowboys are undefeated this season. They just play their best brand of football at home. Um, Cowboys defense too is they have a lot of difference makers there. I think that's going to be the key thing. I talked about Jordan Love and just a tremendous season that he's had. I definitely doubted him a little bit there, especially with the kind of the lack of weapons that I think I saw. But he was able to utilize very young wide receiver core. I think all the wide receivers that are like either rookies or year two. With Christian Watson and Romeo Dubs, uh, who were drafted last year. So, but for me, I think the Cowboys defense, that's going to be the difference maker here. You got Gilmore, you got Bland at the cornerback positions to kind of slow down those talented young wide receivers there. Micah Parsons too, being able to create pressure. I think that'll be instrumental here. I think the keys for the Packers though is, can Aaron Jones be effective? I think that's what's going to be necessary for them to have some success. Also, is Christian Watson going to be available? I think he's kind of questionable from everything I've seen and read there, because he can definitely blow off the top. Like, doesn't matter if it is Gilmore or Deron Bland back there. Christian Watson can run past them, and at 6'5", like, he is a weapon. So I think those are kind of factors to look for if I am a Packers fan there. Also, very excited to see Jair Alexander versus CeeDee Lamb in the playoffs. Like, that could be a matchup to watch as well. Looks like Jair Alexander, looks like he did practice, so it looks like he probably will be available there. So all that being said, I gotta go Jerry World Cowboys. I feel like they just have experience. They got the secondary to match up with the wide receivers and also kind of just stall the passing game a little bit for the Packers. I think they'll be able to stop the run, stop Aaron Jones enough. Maybe create a turnover or two as well with Bland and Gilmore there. Like I mentioned before, maybe Parsons is able to get some pressure on there. I'm just kind of factoring all that. And then, yeah, Dak Prescott, I think he can play at that MVP level again in Dallas specifically. It's kind of banking over that. Young, talented Packers team exceeded my expectations. I think I might have picked them last, so definitely want to give some props there. But in this game, gotta pick Dallas Cowboys winning here. I think the spread is 7.5 in favor of the Cowboys. I'm gonna say the Packers actually cover here. I think that they can go within that 7.5. But yeah, I got the Cowboys winning this game. Cowboys winning this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree definitely on this game being a lot closer than maybe what analysts think. What an accomplishment from the Green Bay Packers this year to make the playoffs, year after losing Aaron Rodgers, bring in, the quarterback waiting under the wings in Jordan Love. What a season he had. I mean, I feel like, there was that huge victory he had early on in the year over the Saints, that huge comeback run that he had, that I felt like, at least for me, showed me that he's got a lot of grit and he's very capable of, playing some big football when it matters. There was that huge lull, I think, more or less in the first half of the season where he had a lot of struggles and showed that he's, still learning on the job and he's still trying to ease his way and get comfortable there. But to just finish off the year and kind of, get this team, winning football games, having big stat lines, showing the confidence, showing the fact that he's, been worth, the wait and worth that first round pick. even to Aaron Rodgers' displeasure there. It's just crazy to see that how they just kind of hand the baton from one Hall of Fame quarterback to another, and now it's in the hands of Jordan Love to kind of take it and run with it. He just looks very capable. He looks very capable of leading a team. Um, it sucks when you think about it from the Bears' perspective and everything that we go through on a year-to-year basis, thinking about what it is to have a franchise quarterback or something like that. But man, I mean, this to me, exceeded expectations for this team already, just to make sure that they're on the right path, that they didn't make, the wrong decision there by, choosing him to lead the team. And, they do have that huge crop of, young wide receivers like you were talking about. Jaden Reed looks like a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he's very fun to watch on the ground, in the air. Maybe they do get Watson back, which would be a huge boost for them. I think, Luke Musgrave may also be back. I think he was on the fence last week if he didn't play. I'm not sure, but Tucker Kraft has been pretty good at tight end for them as well. So it's like they've just got this crop of young guys on offense. They've got a defense that's on the rise as well. I mean, placement wise, the team didn't finish up, in the top half of many, statistical categories on offense or defense, but I think they're a work in progress and they're, picking up confidence at the right time. Dallas, we know what they are. We've seen what they've done, throughout the year. The differential, I believe, was nearing 200 points against opponents, especially when they got to Dallas. It was, just kind of laying the smackdown on teams. But we do know one thing about the Cowboys, in that, there's always going to be that game. There's going to be a game where they slip up and, they drop, not to say an easy one, but we kind of, let our guard down a little bit and get kind of high on the Cowboys, and they come crashing back down to earth and stuff. So, when I think about predictions, when I think about this team, they have everything in place they need to really make a strong push here, coming out of the NFC. They have basically all the talent that they probably, have to have on both sides of the ball to really get the job done. But it's just that it's getting the job done, having the confidence, and getting over that hump. I do think being at home, I think last year we're in a similar position of being the host. I think they don't drop this one this time around. I think they do get that first round victory that they've been looking for some years now, and I think it's a game that will at least provide some confidence for Dak where he needs it. He needs to get a big victory here. But as far as covering the spread, I mean, 7.5 to me still seems a little bit too high. I think Green Bay will come in and give them a very competitive game. So whether it's a touchdown or less, I'm just going to go on the under there. But I do see the Cowboys, going over for the game itself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Cowboys 7.5 there. So yeah, I think you and I are in agreement. I think with the Packers being able to kind of cover that. But yeah, I think it's just giving props to like Matt LaFleur and the coaching staff there. Like, I think we've mentioned before, this is the youngest team in the NFL, and everybody thought this was a kind of a rebuilding year. With Jordan Love first year, and it's like, who would have predicted? I think Vegas basically had him as the favorite to lead the NFL in interceptions, right? So, but then he's second. He's second in the league in touchdowns, more so of. And I don't know where he ranked in terms of interceptions, but I know he definitely wasn't, number one there. So, yeah, great. I think great job. I think this really just goes to show, like, what does good coaching do, especially good offensive coaches, is they can make a young quarterback look great. Like, this kind of shows what it is. Hint, Bears fans, like, this is kind of what it looks like for a quarterback who has learned under different, who learned sat under Aaron Rodgers and kind of saw how he went about his business, how he studied film, how he broke things down. Like, that's stuff that's just really invaluable, and it's a recipe for success for the Packers. It seems like you're just letting a quarterback sit there, no matter how talented they are, just let them digest the information, and that really seems to work for them. So, awesome that they're able to do that. Wish we had something as methodical and significant as that to make an impact on the quarterback. But yeah, I would definitely. I mean, that's like something I thought about recently. Is Matt LaFleur really ought to have more props, I think, for Coach of the Year, just of what he was able to do. I mean, I still think D'Amico Ryans, like, he deserves it flat out, but Malfour did a great job, I think, with this young, talented though Packers team here.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, I was watching the game last week and I was just thinking to myself, like, they did pan over to LaFleur, and I was like, this is the first year where, everything hasn't been, put in place for him. And then, when you have Aaron Rodgers, it's kind of, it's hard to kind of dictate how much talent the coach truly has when you have a quarterback of that kind of, ilk as it is. Coming over from Tennessee prior, it was like, did he really deserve this job? Like, this is kind of seemingly a little bit over his head from where he's at, in the NFL, in the the pecking order of maybe candidates that should get hired. And it took a while, I think, for a lot of people to look at him and say, like, yeah, he deserves to be there, or yeah, we'll give him some credit for some of these terrific Aaron Rodgers performances, or the fact that the Packers were making the playoffs in given years. But like you're saying, with Love kind of coming in year one, and LaFleur having nobody else to kind of fall back on but himself. I mean, he really proved that he can get this team kind of rallied together and coordinated quickly. And yeah, again, the fact that they're in it, to me, is remarkable. I mean, I had him probably ending up in last place too at the start of this year, just based on the huge transition that I thought it was going to going to be. And it's just, again, it's demoralizing as a Bears fan to look over, yet again at Green Bay and just see them back in it already. And it's like, damn, what are we missing? So, anyways, yeah, totally agree on that point.
Yeah, we're missing good coaching. That's one for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, an offensive coordinator that knows what he's doing. Like that's yeah, in a nutshell. But um, yeah, no, it definitely just goes to show the differences of like what a winning organization looks like, how they're able to go about their business. I remember there was a lot of flack that obviously they got for the Packers got for drafting Jordan Love, and similar thing too with Aaron Rodgers. Like there was always that thing. It's like, oh, why are they doing that? Well, guess what? It works. Like it works. While the Carolina Panthers give a haul to the Bears to draft number one overall pick, right? Yeah, the Packers are able to just nab a quarterback like Jordan Love, and then have him sit for a couple of years there under a Hall of Fame quarterback who did the same thing, sat behind a Hall of Fame quarterback for several years. So, if it works, why kill the formula? No matter how much flack that they got. So, yeah, I kind of admire that they're able to just do what they want to do, and they just win. And I think that's something that's commendable that I kind of envy a little bit for sure. So